I grab one as well.
I'll just leave it. Usually it picks.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this is.
Fair.
Yeah. So is it debate or? Because I usually go for
My
this
intent, I think
one.
it's good to have intent. I like to meet people I can talk with.
Yeah, oh,
I've
my
known
man, no.
Dawood now for a while.
Mashallah,
I really respect and love him.
nice guy.
Because I think his intent is always good, and that's what I value.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
we have good discussions. And I like to get those with people wherever I can. Occasionally I've fallen out with Muslims because there's one guy I won't mention who suddenly we hit a hot spot. I didn't like that. Maybe I was being too presumptive. But I don't
Sometimes
like
we
it
get spirited, right? Speakers call, everyone goes crazy.
Yeah, I mean, not good. And I've got a kind of clear line between when we're talking about physics and objects. It's very different to me from when we're talking. Thank you. Andre.
Are you sure?
Between when we're talking about ethics and teleology and this stuff and metaphysics. That's what I'm interested in. I don't care much talking about 1,500 year ago books and arguing about small print on these texts. My position is I'm a universalist, so I think all religions have got something good going for them, but they're not all accurate. Yeah?
Okay.
The core teachings are often very, very similar and cool, but I expect corruption and problems and misunderstanding in the branches. I don't take that to be a major criticism of the religion. And I assume that the practice is more important than the theory.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah.
And I think the practice in Islam, as far as I can see around here, often is very good and very diligent.
But it has its problems like every system, of course.
But, I mean, it's impressive. I think whole chunks of the theory are highly problematic. Some of it's really cool, some is problematic. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, so again, if I can understand your standard, are you English?
Yeah.
Where were you like raised and everything?
London.
London, okay. So usually technically people come forth with ideas and standards they don't even dare to question.
Yeah.
It's just assumed. So they measure the world by these standards. So if you're really to be critical, you have to be critical first and foremost to what your stand is. So if you say Islam is wrong in this place, it's because you're using a standard. Do you understand? So we have to
taking
be...
Islam to be a spectrum of belief. Anyone who self-identifies as Muslim, I take to be Muslim. Out the gate. So that covers everything from Sufi to conservative.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that some things in Islam that you might not find palatable is because the standard you're using, whether and what you assuming you're English, there's strong presence of liberalism, feminism, and
It's a possibility.
so it's a reality.
It's a possibility. It's a reality. It's a
Because
possibility.
this country is a liberal country, and it also has a lot of feminism and sexual liberation, and all of these thoughts and ideologies were found, not just found. Yeah, sure. So it was developed by major players from the UK.
I'm actively a liberal. I think maximizing freedom of speech and freedom of autonomy is a good thing. I think each individual should and will be judged on their choices, but as far as possible, they should be free to make those choices.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me to the question I was going to ask you, right?
Not to say I can answer it, but I can engage
I
in
tried
it.
to pick something that wouldn't be contentious, but would be a thought experiment.
No problem.
So my thought experiment is this. I believe in Islam and certain other religions. It's believed that you are born a Muslim, yeah? And I think Christians will believe that you're born innocent.
على فطرة كل مولود, every child or birth baby is born upon a fitra, a natural disposition.
Yeah, you believe that.
Not necessarily. There's a narration we say Islam, but mostly that we say fitra, like a disposition. You're inclined towards the belief of God, for example.
And because I'm a universalist, I'm trying to think of a wider thought experiment. I think there are other religions where when a child is born, it's considered to be sort of innocent.
Yes.
Therefore, if it dies the next second, it goes to heaven.
Yes, that's what I believe.
So here's the thought experiment. If it's the case that when a child is born, it's in a state of kind of innocence, and if it dies, it will go to heaven. If I'm the parent of that child, why, and I want to maximize the child's chance of going to heaven, why shouldn't I instantly contain it in a sealed room, never expose it to any negative input, keep it alive, and then that will maximize the chance, surely, that when the child dies, it'll go to heaven. If I'm a good parent, my thought experiment, which I hope is not contentious, why shouldn't it? Now, I think I have an answer, which I thought up myself.
So we believe the child will go to heaven. The question is, you putting a child in the question, will you get into heaven?
I think that's the way to go. Do we agree on point A, that the child actually would, logically, the child would go to heaven?
Yeah.
Hello? No, what are we going to do?
We have to, let's just No, they pick up our audio. Sorry, let it go on. Let's continue.
Okay.
Go on.
We may or we may not. If we listen, we might find out. So if we can agree on point A, that logically the child will go to heaven.
Yeah.
I think
Theologically as well.
theologically. Then I think your instinct is quite right. The problem lies with the choice B. The parent, however, may be committing a sin.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I could almost stop there. I think we had a good chat. We didn't fall out.
We did it. We
We did
did.
nothing contentious, and then we could come back and do something more, or we could explore the consequences of that a little bit if you like.
Yeah, okay, let me ask you a question as well.
Okay.
But it's not, again, it's not a debate. I may not know something. I'm happy to say I don't know.
Me too.
And this is what the difference is between debate and discussion. And the people here tend to debate. They interrupt, they shout over each other, and then they say, I won the discussion because you don't know. Not
I
because,
noticed you didn't do that.
yeah, it's this
Which is
isn't,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm happy you're saying I don't know, and I'm happy with someone here. And I say this
Good.
all the time, saying they don't know.
Good.
This or not, don't know. Okay, so you as a humanist, in terms of a creator, do you believe a creator created you?
Not in the sense that you do, but I could rewire it so in a very abstract and mystical way, maybe yes. But I don't believe in the supernatural. But I may be wrong. I think it's highly unlikely I live in a
But
supernatural.
okay, let's move this to a very like as in sterile language, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So leave supernatural. Do you believe something caused the universe to exist?
Not necessarily. We're straight in the deep end.
I know. This
Okay,
is
well, we're going straight into the contingency argument.
no. I'm not going to
No,
go
I
to
wouldn't go there. That's
No. I'm happy just to talk.
No, the contingency argument seems to be the backbone of the operation. I'm happy to go there, but I'd like to ease into it.
No, I'm not even going
Do I-
into
I
that.
don't-
I just
I
want to
think-
know what's operating here for you.
I
I need to
I
engage.
think it seems to me possible that I'm not a physicist, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Today I've just spent 4 hours talking to a Muslim physicist who's over there called Awad.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Nice.
He's answered me a question about physics I've been fighting for 10 years. So I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
It turned out I was wrong, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I learned something, right? The answer is I don't know because I'm not a physicist. I consider it possible the universe had a beginning, but I also consider it possible, based on what the Nobel Prize winners are saying, based on what the National Association of Science is saying, that the universe is eternal. In other words, infinite in time.
Yeah. So what? Steady state model, inflation, big crunch, and
There's a series of models which entertain the possibility that matter and energy were always here. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm using modal logic and I'm going, I'll see how the universe works if it's like that. And when it's about the matter and the energy, I'm not talking about God. If God is eternal, that's not the I mean the stuff that we're needing. I'll use modal logic.
So for you, like sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, forgive me. So it's always been there. That's what you believe at the moment. It's always been
I
there.
believe it's possible.
It's possible. Okay.
Okay, so
But
I've got
I want to
defer
talk to you.
design. Well, that is my
Yeah.
view. I look at everything probabilistically.
Yeah.
I think there's very few certainties. So when you said, I don't know is a good answer, that's right. I don't know.
Where's your probability? So I understand your possibility. Now moving to your
To me, I
probability.
think it now feels increasingly likely. So I'm now about 60% it was eternal in time.
Based on?
Based on kind of the law of elimination. It seems to me there's 4 options here. Yeah? There's the idea that there was nothing, then there was something. And there's also the issue of order and chaos. Yeah? And we make assumptions. So the options are either in the beginning there was something which was chaotic, there was always something chaotic, or there was always something ordered. Or there was always ordered nothing, or there was always chaotic nothing. Ordered chaos and chaotic nothing are the same thing. Yeah? So that leaves 3 options. Either there was nothing, or there was ordered chaos, or there was ordered stuff, by which I mean matter and energy always, or there was chaotic stuff. Those seem to be the only 3 options.
So can we look at that in application? So when you look at all of this, essentially you think all of this beauty, sophistication, even abstract things such as love, mercy, compassion, are all side effects of chaos?
No, I don't. That's my point. I'm using elimination. But
Yeah.
modally, let's model all 3 of those possible universes.
Yeah.
And of those, it seems to me as a layman, the most likely one, maybe 60%, is that there was always ordered matter and energy, as opposed to chaotic matter or energy, or nothing. The idea of nothing seems increasingly improbable in the physics.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you say ordered, so break this down to me as a layman, not a physicist. When you say ordered, because matter rearranges itself, especially when we're talking
But
about.
according to underlying laws of nature, in other words, that as a brute fact in kind of
Entropy gets worse.
entropy would be in play as a law of nature.
Yeah.
But I guess I am doing Bertrand Russell, but I should put it on the cards. I think every logical inference must contain a brute assumption of fact, an assertion of faith.
Yeah, of course.
So if you start with the assertion
Axioms.
of faith that I'm all about axioms.
Yeah.
I'm all about axioms.
But
If you start with the axiom that there was always matter and energy in an ordered state, however counterintuitive that seems, and it does seem counterintuitive,
so what does ordered state mean? That's what I was asking.
it means it has principles and laws which govern it in a self-consistent fashion.
Okay. Oh, so where did those laws come from?
They may just be brute facts. I'm
No,
exploring the possibility.
There's a reason why. It's because these laws are ultimately what governs everything, as you mentioned. Because the matter moves, it rearranges this and that. But these laws which cause all of this, where did these laws come? Is it a lawgiver?
I'm saying there may be I've got three modes, A,
Yeah.
B, C.
Mm.
In mode C, there are brute facts which
Yeah.
are always there. And we're not talking about
Yeah.
subjects or qualia.
Yeah.
We're talking only about objects.
Yeah.
In mode B,
Huh.
the matter would have to be chaotic, and that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because if it's chaotic, we couldn't have a conversation because we need a certain amount of order just to exist. Yeah? So I think B looks very unlikely. It looks like 1%.
Yeah.
And then there's the nothing idea. Now, the nothing idea is very popular, but there used to be nothing.
Mm.
And it's intuitively your first port of call. But the more you look at it, the science would seem to indicate there is no evidence for physical nothingness. There is always either energy or matter or vacuum energy, even in the darkest reaches of space.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, there's a possibility that this idea of nothing was never there, which means it reduces the necessity for an external creator. It doesn't disprove God, it doesn't eliminate God, it simply reduces the probability. Yeah? So I'm looking at it now.
So you're looking at 60-40 at the
I'm going
moment.
about 60-40, and even if it's the 40, even if it's my 60 vulture, that doesn't eliminate the possibility of God, but it means you've got to recontextualize what we're talking about.
So how do you live as someone who's agnostic? Let's say, for example, when you take away meaning and purpose, this is my question to you,
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah? I don't know, maybe if we like just ask short questions to each other. The whole concept of, the whole concept of meaning.
Yeah.
How do you give life meaning and purpose when you have no ultimate purpose? As not an atheist,
I don't think
but
it
someone who's
inevitably
not
follows from
theist.
option C that life has no purpose or teleology. I don't think that automatically follows.
Yeah.
I do understand.
Because a lot of atheists fall into
I know.
materialism and nihilism and depression, and you
Yeah.
know, especially as a man, it's like you have this kind of disposition as in to be functional.
No, I think what religion is bringing to the table is teleology and meaning and purpose and values. That's the remit of religion. And to be honest, I'm interested in axioms, and I'm very interested in the notion that religion historically has tried to define its arguments. Sorry, I think you're blocking the. Sorry. Defined its arguments in terms of the physics, and I think it should be plugging into the metaphysics of qualia and consciousness. So meaning is all about values and consciousness and the hard problem of consciousness and deep stuff. I think all religion is really about. The physics, I think history shows more and more.
The problem that I would have here is that I understand, as me personally, I understand knowledge has limits. Our lifespan is limited as well. Our inquiry and our tools and even the fields in itself is developing. Everything has limits.
Yeah.
To me, there has to be an end. There has to be an acknowledgement that we have limits.
Absolutely.
So we have to get to the destination, not just dwindle in the journey. It's lovely to dwindle in the journey, to look around, to appreciate life and this and that. But we must know where we are going. This is for me, my person. I'll just tell you my position. So ultimately, when I look at the world, even in the Quran, it says, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تَبْصِرُونَ. And in your own self, do you not ponder?
Yeah.
And this is for me, it's like that whole rearrangement of matter and atoms. You know, when you look at everything, it's just impossible. You look at cell biology, the mitochondria, the ATP turn into the ATP and all this.
You know more than I do on that.
It's like, you know, it's brain blowing like. And you look at the DNA in every single cell of your body, along with the RNA and the processes. For me, it's so hard to fathom that there's no guidance in this. You know, so this is where I stand, and I know that there's a limit to my knowledge.
Right,
I know
which is
there's a development in all sciences, and I also appreciate that sciences, it can take us in a not just science itself. I mean, every science knowledge that we have, it can take us in a direction for many years, and it can also be turned to be wrong, like a geocentric universe, or We've had many different models.
The problem is, how does one create a view of the world, the physical world, which is objective and honest
Yeah.
as possible,
Mm.
and synthesize it with a teleological and ethical model of the world?
So then I suppose here you apply all your knowledge, whether it's mathematics, logic, and and this is very basic. So we have to limit it down to what we know. Let's say that there is a personal God. So we got Judaism. Look, if for example there's a concept of disorder, yeah.
Yeah.
If the universe had more than two lords, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what the
more
Quran
than
says,
two
yeah,
what?
two
Lords.
gods, yeah?
Two.
Two gods, yeah? لَفَسَدَتَا. It would have been destroyed. It's like you go to any organization, you don't have two bosses, and there's a reason for that. It's because one will differs from another will, and when two wills collide, then there's chaos. And this is the argument that we have, even in Greek philosophy, which I'm not a fan of. It says,
I'm a monist, a monotheist.
Okay,
Like you. I agree.
yeah, there's
It
one.
seems the universe should reconcile to one axiom,
This,
and I want a hunt axiom.
yeah, the rule of many is bad. Let there be one.
Yeah.
This is even what the Greeks used to
However, I
say.
don't have a problem with the Trinity the way you make, for example, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Trinity is
you're gonna open up a new box. Thing.
another time.
So-
The Trinity is just constantly banged on about.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
me, it's fairly easy, but what the hell?
So let's try to get as much as we can in this last few minutes because the other guy's been waiting for a while. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
you know the other guy that came with the camera. So my position is that knowledge has all has limits. Our knowledge, communal knowledge, even in the fields, every single field is developing, and every field relies on another field. You know, it's all network. And I acknowledge that this shortcoming will never allow us to get into total confidence with probability.
Yeah.
For us to have that scientific certainty, yeah, sure, to have that scientific certainty. But this is where I take.
I'm not claiming this is. I'm not claiming certainty. I'm saying the reality.
No, I
of
said
the
scientific.
landscape
I said
is that
scientific.
we're actually deeply uncertain.
Yeah.
What surprises me. Sorry, you need to.
No, it wasn't this one. It was okay.
What worries me about a lot of conservative religion, not all, but some. I mean, I favour the Sufi end of the spectrum. Is the amount of certainty I get.
Right.
It's not the ideas that I hear, it's when I hear people going, I'm 100% sure. The minute I hear somebody going, oh, I'm 100% sure of this or that, I start to wonder about how honest they're being with themselves and how objective they're being. Because they seem to be knocking out the necessity. They seem to be knocking out the necessity for faith. For me,
Yeah.
faith is the backbone of
Yeah,
religion.
yeah.
I grew up in a
So we have this faith, we have this, it's called ilm al-ghayb, things that we cannot see and that we believe in it, and tu'minu billah, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa
So what
ta'ala.
are you uncertain about? What is it which you're just asserting? As
No,
a
we
group?
believe in this. This is what we say,
But
we
what are you
believe.
uncertain about? What is it that you're not 100% epistemologically certain about? Because I'm not 100% epistemologically sure of anything except I am.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Everything else is on a sliding
So
scale of
you know what we'll
probability.
do? What we do, yeah? Let me get back to you on this next time,
Okay.
if that's all right with you.
That'd
The reason is because one, this topic is I know we're gonna spend
It's
some
gonna
time,
go deep.
and I need to also refresh some notes as well on
Right.
this, yeah. Because I'm not gonna claim here that I can get into
No,
this
this
subject.
was good because
Yeah?
I watched you and I loved the way you gave people time and your
Okay.
attitude. So
Okay.
I'd like to get more dialogue.
Okay.
And
Well, I appreciate that. You've taught me a lot. Obviously, you know what I believe, isn't it? I'm
I'm
very.
making assumptions. I don't know. You seem
Yeah.
to me to be on the liberal end of the spectrum.
No. I'm so orthodox.
Really?
More conservative than most people. So conservative. So conservative.
But
Yeah,
you're-
but
okay,
I'm
the way you
nice.
conduct
I'm
yourself-
nice to people.
Okay, good.
But I'm super conservative
Really?
like that. Well, I don't think I am. But when I see things in my head, I'm thinking. But people don't realize. But I've lived in Saudi for 10 years. But I've seen the fruit on conservatism and traditionalism and family structures and law. You know, this is one thing I was thinking to myself. When you have law which is strong, the practice can be weak. So you can have a weak police force. Like in Saudi Arabia, I see the policing is really weak.
Yeah.
But then you go in America, yeah, the policing is so harsh because the laws are so liberal. And this is what Islam is like. People think liberal and conservative. The laws in Islam is harsh, but it works in a way to deter people, deterrent, and it stops the crime. So people in Saudi Arabia, even in England, because you know, it's very communal. That had harsh penalties, but they could leave their doors open all day without the fear of someone coming in, intruding into your house and robbing you. But yeah, so
You know Vlad the Impaler?
but yeah, this is something to do.
Let's talk a bit about Vlad the Impaler. Apparently, he used to be able in his empire he used to be able to leave gold goblets in the town squares, in the fountains and stuff. And even though the people there were virtually starving to death, nobody would steal them. The reason for that was they knew that if there was even a rumour they'd broken the law, they'd be impaled on wooden sticks up their bums and left out in public. He kept an excellent state of law, but I'm of the opinion he may have gone a bit too far.
But this is it. This is different from someone who is given a, how can you say, like a ajr, like a reward in the hereafter. There's a video clip of a Sudanese man who is a Bedouin. Yeah, he's in the desert. A car comes and says, "Give me one of the camels. I will give you 20 million, this and that." He rejects it. He doesn't know anyone's recording it, but he rejects it. And he said, "Look, no one is looking." He said, "Allah is looking."
Sure.
So he believes, that belief stops him. And you see now videos on TikTok and YouTube and all these social media. People are leaving their phones in these Emirati countries, which are very strict in the application of Sharia to a certain degree. They will leave their phone in their car, they go gym and they come back and the phone is still there. So, which is good.
My question to you though is how far is too far? How far is too? Because I'm in no doubt that we have got. You know what? We did good, and now we're getting more contentious. So I'd like to just end. Is that good?
Yeah, that was brilliant. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, it was brilliant speaking to you. Thank you very much, man. You've read the Quran and everything already, yeah?
I've done the first 100 pages.
Yeah. Let's continue. We'll continue next course, and I'll give you down. You can teach me something. Okay? Thanks, nice. So, how you doing, man? You good? Alhamdulillah.
Just a quick question. If you've got 10 seconds left.